Hello and welcome to episode 7 of baking Bread.li or Bread.li. I did just record episode 6 right before this. I'm going to start uploading them after this one. I'm just going to set them both off in one go. And I'm on a roll, and I've heard many people, like at work, we were discussing getting focused within an hour. It's very difficult because after an hour you're then on a roll. So I'm going to utilize that and just keep going with this. But keep them under an hour, definitely under an hour, because an hour is long enough for you guys to watch it. That's if anybody is watching. It's more of a documented video, and comments are welcome anyway. And yes, I'm just going to make the most of it, and I'm enjoying building this site. I want to get as much done as possible. So the last thing we did was install this gulp filtering system, which means we can segregate our JavaScript and CSS files, and possibly other ones as well, along the line. So we need to now segregate them in the gulp file. So we need to take our SCSS files and our JavaScript files and put them in the right spots. Yes. Right. Let's open up gulp.js. Well, gulpfile.js. So we've got this initial task that we made called default, and that is taking the main bower file, which that was an interesting question. It was doing we were able to do this function, and this one was just bower on its own. Let me double check whether this actually does what I think it does and whether we actually need it. So if I do gulp, it should do the default task. And it fails. So yeah, we do need it. It must mean that those braces mean, or those brackets mean, that we can do extra functionality with them. So if we do gulp again, it's going to process our files and put it into the JS directory, which we chose here. But we're going to have a problem. If we look in JS, we've got HTML5 shiv, but we've also got bourbon and neat in here, and we don't want that. We don't want these in here. We want to get rid of them because we only want JavaScript going in this one, and we want bourbon and neat going in here. So we need to create another task. So I'm going to copy this and call it SCSS task. I'm gonna let's keep this as the JavaScript task and rename it to JS, and rename this to SCSS. And we'll mess around with these now. Okay, so we need to change this obviously to SCSS, but we don't know which files they are going to be. So we need to take a look at this. So this is the gulp filter page from NPN, and it shows a simple usage of it. What we need to do is we need to create a variable up here to filter, to allow us to use the filtering system. So gulp, require, not gulp. Put our brackets in, and then it's gulp filter. So now we have a filtering method, and we've got var filter, the gulp filter, and then they're filtering out source vendor, not source vendor, so that's exclamation mark, not that, everything but this directory. So now they've called it gulp filter up here, so this is what they're doing here. So they're defining what this system will do. Okay, let's put this in here. So we can put var filter. Well, this is going to be weird because we're going to put var filter. I wonder if this will create an error. So we only want star SCSS. So any SCSS file. And that's fine. Interesting. So we need, multiple filters. So we're defining our filter up here. And then we need to use that filter. Because if we look in Bower, then it's gonna we can't filter before we look in Bower. We need to look in Bower and then filter out the SCSS files. So we then need to use .pipe and then brackets filter. No, semicolon. And then destination SCSS. Interesting. I'm wondering whether this will actually work. So let's do filter again up here. And we need to filter. Well, let's be safe. Let's put JS filter and SCSS filter up here or down there. And then we are definitely not reusing variables. And then they're more explanatory. So that the JS filter actually does a JS filter. So star.js. So that's any JS file. And that is it. We need this in here as well. So we're filtering out things. I'm putting a lot of returns in here. That's probably not necessary. But at least then you can then see the them quite easily with all the spacing. So this should work. So let's put this here, and then his here, and then we need to do gulp, and because we've named it, we need to do gulp.js. So we're gonna try the JS one first. So let's put that there and see if this changes. It shouldn't do anything technically. An error. We've got an error. So we've written something wrong. So let's drag this out so we can see all our errors in one line. JS error, object not a function. I stupidly didn't put JS. We need to put SCSS there. So let's try that again. There we go. Cool. Wow, normally there's something else wrong. Okay, nothing's changed. And there's nothing in here because we haven't done SCSS. So let's do gulp SCSS. Success. Perfect. So we've got our SAS or SCSS in one directory and our JavaScript in another directory. And that is perfect. That is exactly how we want it to come out. But we have to run two tasks we have to do both. So you could write, I guess you could write gulp.js space SCSS and it will run both tasks. But we could also, and I'm going to do this by heart. Hopefully I can. So gulp task and then open it up. And then we need to name it, and we're going to name it default. And what I'm doing is creating a task that is an amalgamation of the other two tasks. So we're going to, so this is the name of it, and then within these are the options or the tasks that we want it to represent. So I think that's how you write it. So if we write gulp now, there you go. Wow. There you go. It's a bit of JavaScript that I've written without looking it up. Would work in normal JavaScript terms, but it's correct. Let's put a space there. And yeah, so we're doing default task, and within that default task, we've got JS and SCSS. Perfect. So now we've got dependencies running in perfectly. So let's do get status. Oops. Get status. We committed that gulp filter add-on into the package.json, didn't we? Yeah. So let's do git commit gulp file, and the message is removes old default task, replaces with 2 tasks for JS and SCSS. Cool. Now, this is another thing where it's another time where you've got something that's a bower import that you shouldn't commit into your project, but because of the context of this, we're using Jekyll. Jekyll needs those files to process them into a CSS file. So in my case, it's okay to commit and push these because the repo needs them to make the CSS file. It's a shame because you could just be having like a package.json that's referencing it, much like we're not committing and pushing the components folder or the components directory. But needs must, and at least on the repo, it looks quite tidy and people can actually see what's happening. So let's do git add, and we'll do SCSS again. So git status, and you'll see that the 2 files are green. So git commit, and the message is adds Bourbon and Bourbon neat with gulp. Great. We're making progress. We're almost getting to the point where we can start doing a little bit of styles to our site design. Because at the minute it's looking pretty plain. Did we close this one? We closed this issue. Let's open this up a bit more so you can see it a bit better. Go back to the main page. Close this one down. Oh, no, that's not right. We want to be in this one. Issues. We've got no more issues. Got no more issues. Right. We need to create an issue to keep track of stuff. It's good for you guys to see these issues as they're coming along. 14 minutes in, good. Front end styles, initiate front end styles, styles. Link newly added SCSS files with main project styles and and link to front. Yeah, link to front end structure. It's just like making up words almost. So this is development again. So we'll put some nice things here. Link, we'll call them Bourbon files. Link Bourbon files, because they're all like related to Bourbon. Create styles.scss and link styles.scss to HTML. Cool. Oh dear. Do I have to put a space there? Yes. Just have a drink. Okie doke. Git push. Let's push those commits. Right, we've got some files going on in here. And we need to watch out. We need to watch out of the files that we're going to be committing and pushing, because as we've done before, we need to keep this up to date with all the files that are like going to appear, because we've forgotten about gulp. Forgotten about the gulp file. So when we do this, when we do our local server, gulp serve watch, and we look in our directory, it's got gulp file, but we've also got JavaScript file which we want. So let's copy this file name, open this up in Coda, and then add it to the package manager's files list like that. And then down here, oh no, sorry. Normally what happens is any files change, it will update because we've done the watch parameter, and then it should just auto update. But the one file it doesn't look at continuously is the config file, which is obviously very important. And it's like the spine of the site, of a Jekyll site, and it cannot be looking at that file constantly. So it will look at it once here and then run the server, because it needs to know where the site is hosted, because you can put that in here, but it's obviously local, so it's just going to run it. So what we need to do is we need to cancel it and then run it again. And there we go. Fine. We can also create this CSS file, or the SCSS file, and that will mean that it will create the styles file, and we can start like manipulating the front end design. Yes. So I'm going to create a folder called CSS Classique, the old way. And then I'm going to create a file within that. I'm going to do it in Coda, so we can just do new file and call that styles.scss. Done. And I think now, because we're importing like everything from SCSS. It's going to be literally everything. I'm wondering if I can do an asterisk and represent that as like the wildcard and just be everything in the SCSS file. So we need to look up SCSS import all files. Is it possible to import a whole directory in SAS? Check out the SAS globbing project. If you're using SAS in a Rails project, SAS Rails gem. So you can do the wildcard. Let's try it. Let's try it. So at import, and is it quote marks? Yeah. SCSS star. Do you see that? Do you see that? Generated it, done. So if we go into site, we go into here, we've got this. It's not doing it right. It's not doing it right. Can we do that? We can do everything star. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't do it. That would be a shame, but oh well. After I created a file name called partials. I wonder. Can you do that? Is it going to error? Is it thinking about it? Oh, it's done it. It's done it. And the file does not. Oh, we're looking in the. Why is that just creating an SCSS file? Oh, so they have to be called SAS. Let's go back to this page. Yeah, I have got it called SCSS. I've done it exactly the same. Oh, you dope. These. The front matter lines. So it tells Jekyll that this is a file to process, not to just like spit out default. So we need an empty one in here. Error. Yes. Now it's going, there's something wrong with that. That's not quite the right way to do it, Dave. See? It was just doing it flat. It wasn't just going. It wasn't even looking at it and thinking about it. It was just going, put it in the folder. It's time 23. Cool. So we need to just import them all individually. You do that way? Still an error. Someone create a gem for it. Have a look on the doc site for SAS. Is there import? Import reset. Guess not. Well, in theory, we don't want to do that. I guess, yeah, we want to import bourbon, neat, bitters, and base, because base imports everything else. So let's do this. We want to import. First, we want to import bourbon, because bourbon's got all the mixins in it. Then neat, I guess. And then bitters, base. And oh, we don't need that one. Duh. Unable to read. Or unreadable. SCSS bourbon. I wonder if we need to do this. No. People are probably watching this going, "You're doing it wrong. It's obvious." Can you not see? Should I not be doing this bit? Nah. Hey. I'm guessing because it's in a different directory. No, we want to be doing root. Getting straight stuck on bourbon. Oh no, that's something else that we want to look at later. For example, look at this. Checkout allows you to customize your SAS conversion in certain ways. Place all your partials in your SAS dir, which defaults to that. Also, by default, it is SAS. So we do need to change it to SAS, even though it's all SCSS. You see, that's kind of confusing, because we've got SCSS files and then SAS. But I'm sure someone can explain why they're kind of put in the same boat. We've already got this open, so we can do this. How did I do it on the other one? Here it is in this one. You've got import and then main. Oh, so it knows the root. Unable to import or not. Maybe we need to restart the server. It's not going smooth with this. Error converting styles. Conversion error. File to import not found or unreadable. Settings. Prefixer. Oh. Oh no. Bourbon has more files to it. So in our Bower components, Bourbon, and the app, assets, style sheet, we've then got add-ons, CSS3, functions. There's loads in here, and what it's doing is it's trying to import them. And there's loads in here. Wow. Goodness me. That's a lot. That's a lot. We're going to have to work out a way to redefine the files that get brought in. So we need to redefine the main files. Oh, goodness me. That's strange. So we've got Bourbon, neat, right, and then if we go in Bower components, then go in Bourbon, then you've got a bower.json file to manage it that they have, and it tells you in here what the main file is, and the main file is just this bourbon.scss, and that's a problem because we don't want that. We want everything. We want everything. So we're going to have to find a way to get Bourbon deprecated upcoming. The following features have been deprecated and will be removed in the next major version release. Wowzers. Wowzers, wowzers. It's starting to be a bit unwieldy, but at least it's not in the final project. So when your site loads, it's not loading all this stuff. It's just mixins. It's just a lot of options. At least this is tidy enough. You see, neat will be importing all this stuff. So we need to change the directory to like style sheets, and then just like rename it. So take the style sheets, rename it to neat, and then take style sheets from Bourbon and rename that to Bourbon. So copy this whole thing, put it in there. So we need a new way to rename the main files, which we can actually do, which I did actually do in here. And there is a way. It's gulp rename. Change main Bower files. Pulls in a dynamic list of file paths to Bower components. Change main Bower files. Well, this is the one we've already done. We can do overrides. Yes, of course, overrides. Let's try. Overrides. So overrides here. We'll try it with just Borb and see what happens. Need to put a comma there. Always catches me out. Put that over there. My indentation is not correct. Bite my lip, sorry. So we want to change it to this. Like that. Do we just change it to like... No, it has to be in the braces. Or the brackets. So now this is the main file. I'm not sure whether it's going to take the whole directory and the contents of it, or just the folder and nothing inside it. So if we do gulp, see that one, I don't think that one's changed. Yeah, that one, and that one. We need to find a way. Change main bower to whole directory. I'm making a new project that uses Bower from Twitter. I created component.json. Let's change Bower's default components folder. Ah, alright, okay, that's different. Sending me back to this main Bower files. So we can use this glob pattern thing. So we can put everything in anything directory style. Okay. So we do want to kind of mimic that. Just checking our Bower components thing. Oh, thank goodness. They're only a certain amount of levels deep. So I'm going to do two. And one is Bourbon. And we don't need that deprecated and upcoming. So that nicely eliminates that. But we also need star. So that's anything in a directory. So that's all of these that are SCSS files. So that's got that. And what we should then do is change at the other end where our Bourbon goes into. So it could go into a Bourbon directory instead of just all like at top level. So just because it will just spit them all out at top level, and Bourbon needs them at the same directory structure. Oh, damn. They need to be at helpers and da 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 la 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 la. This is getting unwieldy. I'm going to cut it off here. We're going to come back to this and get this resolved. It might be a case of copying these directories and just saying these names and mimic them down here. In fact, quickly, let's do this. Let's get these down in here and copy these into here. Was that CSS3? Functions, helpers, settings, so that's all that. Get rid of that last comma. This is either going to go badly or fairly well. So it'll probably go badly and we'll have to cut off for now. Gulp SCSS. Let's see where this like destroys everything. Well, it won't destroy it. It will just throw the kitchen sink at it. Or do nothing. If we do git status, we can see where it's like. They haven't been deleted. Oh, oops. They've put them in here. Okay. Let me come back to you guys on this. We'll figure out a way of doing this and I will sort it. So I'll be right back.